You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters, with thanks to Wexford Insurances. Wexford Insurances. More information at wexfordinsurance.com.
I'm joined now by Minister Richard Bruton. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks very much indeed.
I'm here with you in Waterford today for one of your regional meetings on the Action Plan for Jobs. I'd like to talk to you specifically about what's in this for Wexford and where do you think the opportunities for Wexford are going to come?
Well, I think there's initiatives right across the plan that will impact on Wexford. I know that Wexford would feel that IDA companies have passed them by to a degree, but now we've introduced through Succeed in Ireland an initiative which is now targeting much smaller companies than the large IDA type companies. This is being run by a company, Connect Ireland, and the idea is that people, whether they're one-time Wexford, wherever they are in the world, could refer a company to Connect Ireland who could then become an IDA location. There's about 200,000 companies every year located in Europe. Very few of those, if they're not the very big companies accessed by IDA, pick Ireland. This company, Connect Ireland, is aiming to bring more of those to Ireland, and it'll be much more regionally spread. So there's real opportunities, I think, for people to get involved in that initiative. Of course, there's lots of other things there. I mean, a big emphasis on this is about business startup. We are going to establish the one-stop shop now, which will be in through the local authority, but it will be seamlessly connected to Enterprise Ireland. So we believe that a lot of startups, they can fulfill their potential much better if we have that connection to Enterprise Ireland and allow them grow. Clearly also the banking area. You'll know yourself through Brendan Howland's work on the whole public finances and the negotiations with the Troika. We need to get our banks working again. We've succeeded in restructuring them. We now need to get them lending. And we're going to back that with various initiatives, the microfinance initiative, the partial loan guarantee scheme initiative. So there's a lot of, if you like, elements that are very much aimed at that small business sector. And so there's a lot in this that can fulfil opportunities in Wexford.
From speaking to local business owners across County Wexford, what I'm hearing is that we need stimulus packages to be put in place in relation to different sectors to generate demand for goods and services. What are your thoughts in relation to the provision of stimulus packages for specific sectors?
Well, I don't think the government, in the situation we've inherited where spending is running more than 40% ahead of revenue, is in a position to dish out grants or subsidies on a significant scale. But what we are in a position to do is do clever things with the money we have. And, for example, last year, the cut in the VAT rate for the tourism sector, the cut in the low rate of PRSI, they helped businesses. Another example is, the Strategic Investment Fund, where we're taking 250 million from the Pension Reserve Fund, and we're leveraging that up with private sector money to have a €1 billion fund to invest in infrastructures over the coming years. So there's things we can do that, create the opportunity for demand. Obviously, another thing is getting companies who never looked at export markets to look at foreign earnings. So we've set up the Potential Exporters Division within Enterprise Ireland, which is designed to take, maybe 50 companies from every constituency in the country and who've never thought of exporting and get them to look at maybe I should try it, and here's the pitfalls, and they will hold their hand, if you like, through that transition to win business, perhaps in the UK initially, and then maybe further afield.
I know that Wexford was one specific county that had a very, very high dependency on the construction sector for employment, most of which has now disappeared and disintegrated. With regard to septic tank inspections and maintenance, along with water meter installations and that, do you think there's an opportunity there for people on a localised level to benefit from the employment opportunity that both of those will create?
Absolutely. I think Phil Hogan has made sure that in the design of the water metering initiative, which he's planning to roll out, that it won't be one big national contract. He's going to break it up into hundreds of smaller contracts that give the opportunity for people to access them. And you can get groups of people, if you like, coming together to get approved to do that sort of work. So I think there is real opportunity. And one of the topics in the Action Plan for Jobs is to look at public procurement and see, can we do it in a more imaginative way that, without sacrificing the need to get value for money, offers opportunities to new companies, innovative companies.
I know that there's over 200,000 businesses across Ireland at this moment in time. Less than 3,000 of those are Enterprise Ireland clients. What my point is here in relation to employment and the creation of employment, it's going to have to come from the other 197,000 businesses. What incentives will you have for them in order to take people on?
Well, I think there's very generous incentives that Michael Noonan just improved upon in the recent budget. For example, if an employer takes on someone who's a year out of work, they can get a double tax relief for 3 years. So for a sole trader, that could be worth 25,000 subsidy for taking on such a person. Now, last year, 140,000 people left the live register to take up employment. Many of those were people who were over a year out of work, but virtually no employer took on this scheme. It was only 300 people took up that scheme. It's a really good scheme that I don't think people know about. Joan Burton recently extended the PRSI credit for someone taking on an extra employee to 18 months. So you get a 10.75% reduction in the cost of employment for 18 months if you take someone on. JobBridge is another scheme. 5,000 individuals can go on to JobBridge and get welfare continued for up to 9 months and get a top-up. So there are a number of initiatives targeted at small companies that are businesses that aren't in the Enterprise Ireland exporting network who can take on people in different segments. Obviously, they're targeted at individual types of people, either the young graduate or the person who's a long term out of work or whatever. But there are lots of schemes that would support companies taking on people, and I think it's to try and get the message out that there's those opportunities.
The black economy is causing a lot of service-based businesses across County Wexford serious issue today. What are the government doing to sort this problem out?
Well, I think no one would regard our revenue commissioners as a soft touch nowadays. I mean, they have become really effective at pursuing abuses of the tax code, and I think they have worked in a very targeted way. Equally, Joan Burton is reforming the welfare system so that there is no abuses, or she's minimising abuses there. But she's also saying to employers that if you take on people who off the live register, there are significant concessions that you can compete with anyone with using these concessions. So, there is a real consciousness of abuses out there, and we're seeking to, get to grips with the abuses, but also give opportunities to legitimate employers to do their business and do it with support from the state.
Minister Richard Bruton, thank you for joining me this morning.
You're listening to South East Radio's Business Matters with thanks to Wexford Insurances. Wexford Insurances, #1 for business insurance in County Wexford.